All right, the hour of 6 o'clock having arrived, I'll call to order the Beal Early Childhood Center Building Committee on Tuesday, May 12, 2020 at 6 p.m. to consider the following agenda. First, we have an important note regarding remotely conducting open meetings effective March 23rd, 2020. As a preliminary matter, my name is James F. Kane, Chair of the Beal Early Childhood Center Building Committee. Please permit me to confirm that all members and persons participated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Ms. Frick?
Present.
Ms. Boucher? Mr. Baldinger?
Present.
Mr. Cox?
Present.
Mr. Collins?
Present.
Mr. Girardi?
Present.
Mr. Mizikar?
Present.
Mr. Sawyer? Mr. Sawyer?
Present.
Staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Valerie?
Present.
Thank you. Anticipated speakers on the agenda, please respond in the affirmative. Deborah Shera?
Present.
Walter Hartley?
Present.
Katie Crockett?
Present.
Sean Brennan? David Fontaine Jr.? Frank? Good evening. This open meeting of the Beal Early Childhood Center Building Committee is being conducted remotely consistent with Governor Baker's Executive Order March 12, 2020 due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as much, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have meetings in publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of the public are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which you can find posted with agenda materials for this meeting, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded, so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless participation is required by law. The meeting will not feature public comment. For this meeting, the Beal Early Childhood Center Building Committee is convening by telephone conference via Google as posted on the town's website, identifying how the public may join. The meeting business ground rules are as follows. We are now turning to the first item on the agenda. Before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I, James F. Kane, will introduce each board member or staff member who has the lead role to participate in any item or a guest speaker associated with this item on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will go down the line of members first and then the staff members, inviting each to provide any comment or questions. We will then call upon the members to offer a motion and then a second. As we did with the last meeting, I will ask Ms. Fritz to make the motion and Mr. Mizikar to second it. Please hold your name until called. Please remember to mute your phone when you're not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For others in attendance that are expected to present, please hold until your name is called to present. Please remember to mute your phone when you are not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. After your presentation, members of the board or the committee will be given the opportunity to ask any questions along the historic practice of this building committee. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by a roll call. So we'll go to item 1 on the agenda, which of course requires me to read an important notice. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Law, Chapter 30A, subsection 18, and the Governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place, this meeting of the Beal Early Childhood Center Building Committee will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. All meetings and hearings listed in this agenda will also be done so through remote participation. Specific information and the general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and or parties with a right and or requirement to attend this meeting can be found on the town's website at www.shrewsburyma.gov coronavirus, period. For this meeting, members of the public who wish to listen or watch the meeting may do so by dialing 1-615-787-8905 to the following PIN 959-946-9 551 pound. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. In the event we are unable to do so, despite best efforts, we will post the town's website an audio or video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive record of proceedings as soon as possible following this meeting. A meeting has been called to order. Are there any comments or questions regarding the meeting minutes of April 14th, 2020? Comments, questions, amendments? If not, can I have a motion to accept? Ms. Fritz? Mr. Mizikar?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to accept. All those in favor shall signify by saying aye when the roll is called. Ms. Fritz?
Aye.
Ms. Boucher? Mr. Baldinger?
Aye.
Mr. Cox?
Aye.
Mr. Collins?
Aye.
Mr. Girardi?
Aye.
Mr. Mizikar?
Aye.
Mr. Sawyer?
Aye.
Item 3 on the agenda is to review and act on the following bill schedules and warrants. Vendor expense item and amount, Fontaine Brothers, Inc., requisition number 15, $2,070,066. LPAA, Inc., invoice 1717-2004C, $69,545. PMA Consultants, LLC, invoice number 04110-34, in the amount of $69,785.16. And Applied Geographics, Inc., invoice 21032, in the amount of $5,787.50. Are there any questions or comments on any of these expense items and invoices? Not hearing any, may I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve. All those in favor shall signify by saying aye. Ms. Fritz?
Aye.
Ms. Boucher? Mr. Baldinger?
Aye.
Mr. Cox?
Aye.
Mr. Collins?
Aye.
Mr. Girardi?
Aye.
Mr. Mizikar?
Aye.
Mr. Sawyer?
Aye.
Item 4 is to hear the reports, review, and act on the following matters. The report from the owner's project manager regarding project financials.
Hi, so this is Deb Sher speaking from PMA. We sent out the budget summary dated May 12th. All the contracts remain the same as they were last month. For LPA, $7,000,003. For the OPM, 2.8, and then Fontaine's GMP is $72,640,000. So our total contract values remain again the same, $82,826,321. Our total invoices cost through April are the $26,937,046. That leaves us a balance to finish to get to the PFA budget of $92 million. A balance to finish is $65,872,000. We've encumbered to date $83,942,585. We have a remaining budget of $8,866,689. To date, the pro pay submitted to date is $24,724,841, with reimbursement payments to the town of $9,720,169. We have pro pay number 23 that was submitted on the 28th of April, and that reimbursement is pending. The MSBA is reviewing the PFA bid amendment, and when they do that, they make adjustments to the reimbursement based on actual costs.
Very good, thank you. Any questions or comments to the owner's project manager? Deb, I have one regarding the ability of the Commonwealth to work remotely. Are you experiencing any difficulties in the normal exchange of business and documents with the MSBA, given that they are not working at their offices?
Nope, not with what I do with them. No, not at all. They're doing probays via an email address that allows for 150 meg attachments, and it seems to be working pretty well.
Very good. With other amendments, have you experienced the delay as you just noted, or is this complicated by factor of the size of the amendment, or how do you explain it?
Are you talking about the pending reimbursement?
Yes.
No, what happens is when the MSBA gets the PFA bid amendment, which gives them actual construction budgets, they review that, and then they go back and they look and see if any scopes have increased. For, in our case, it was the site line item. And with the sight line item in these projects, they're capped at 8% of the construction costs. So what they're doing is they're doing an audit adjustment against previously paid grant amounts to cover the increase to the value of the site work.
Okay.
And thus so the site work value increases, and thus the increase to the budget value for a scope exclusion. And that's why there was no reimbursement under ProPay 22, and that's why we were informed that the ProPay 23 pending reimbursement is just that, pending, because the MSBA has not completed their review of the PFA bid amendment.
Very good. Do you have any sense of when that will be completed?
Well, they give themselves 120 days. So
Okay.
let me just see when we put in the PFA bid amendment.
All right. Thank
Walter,
you
I don't know. Okay, Walter, I don't know if you know off the top of your head when we did that. Funny. PFA
Off the top
bid
of my
amendment.
head, I'm not positive.
No, we submitted it to the MSBA on the 12th of February.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Any comments or questions for the owner's project manager? Not hearing any. Anything else from you guys? Walter, Deb?
I'm
Nothing
good.
on my end.
Well, very good. Then we'll move on to item 4B, report from the architect. Katie?
Thank you. I do have a presentation for everybody tonight. I make an effort to do this seamlessly. Can everybody see something?
Yes. Beautiful.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Val, for teaching me how to do that. We're at about just north of the 25% mark on the construction project as we look at the requisition anyway. And so we've had the opportunity to be visiting the site periodically and thought it might be interesting for the building committee to see some photographs of what is happening on site and our vision for how it will come out in the future. First, I wanted to bring up this slide because obviously even for us, the site is very different than it has been in the past. Fontaine has done a terrific job from our perspective in terms of addressing COVID-19 issues in terms of how the site is used. My staff finds this photograph of me hilarious for some reason, but it is showing that not only do we have the typical safety PPE, but we also have the masks and more when we visit the site itself. Okay. This is a view of the entry of the building. As you approach, as if you're coming from the what will be the parking lot, you can see that sloped roof of the main lobby. And this is our updated rendering of our vision for it when it's complete, with the translucent canopy, the administration to the right. You can even see people in the reception area that will have a view out to the parking lot as well as the entry area. And this is the servery part. And so that's what we see now is on the bottom. What we envision seeing in the future is at the top. So it's a fascinating time for us because we're seeing all of the structure, the systems going in, all of the issues that have to be addressed. You can see the porta potties to the bottom right, and this right here is a hand wash sink that's been installed. This is a view from the cafeteria looking out towards the soccer fields. That big plywood block is a panel holding temporary electric panels. And this is how we see that coming forward when the design is complete in construction.
Beautiful.
There again, you can see all the structural steel, see the gravel there. This is all prepared for a concrete pour. There's a tremendous amount of piping and infrastructure underneath here for the kitchen. But the view is going to be fantastic, and that's one of the things that's been wonderful to see coming together as we go out to the site. This is a view of the lobby from inside the building. You can still see that sloped roof. To the right is where the gym will be. To the left is near the cafeteria. This is how it's going to come together when all is complete. So the history wall, we're envisioning this is under design currently. We're getting some more work from students, even though they're on hiatus from going to school right now. They're obviously learning still. So they're still working on that. The cafeteria is over here to the left. And you can see the sloped ceiling will continue right down through to what we'll see as the next view, which is from the upper lobby looking down into the media center. That yellow material that you see is underneath where we're going to have radiant heat, and that's all of the piping that's already embedded in here for that media center area. This is the academic wing off to the left, and we will have the butterfly garden directly where all the contractors are shown here. And this is updated as we envision it in the end. This is a view if you are in the media center looking up towards the lobby. Again, you get a good view of that radiant heat. The elevator is being developed over to the right. That's what the block wall is. This whole area back here is going to be a stair as well as some storage. The stair up to the lobby eventually. And this is the view in the end. And I believe we have one more, which is of a common room. And again, the common room's pinwheel around the site facing west and with a view over to Worcester and to UMass, and to the north with a view from the kindergarten area that actually we saw Sherwood from the other day, and then over from on the south side to the soccer fields. Each of these wings will have an identifying color scheme, and this is one of them that we envision in the end. So again, this is an exciting time for us because we start to see the vision becoming real. It's an interesting time, I think, for people to be able to see construction images like this because you get a feel for how much is underneath all of the surfaces that finish it off at a later date. And this is our updated aerial with actual finished colors that we've selected for this particular project. So that is the end of my presentation. If anybody has any questions, I'll leave the presentation up. Otherwise, I will exit from it.
Any questions, comments? Thank you very much. It's with all the complicating factors, I know I haven't been able to get out to the site half as much as I had hoped to, so thank you. This adds a lot to it, and hopefully in the coming months we can organize, coming weeks, we can organize a safe, some type of access and walkabout of the site. I haven't been out there for, well, since all this broke, so thank you very much for this. Any comments, questions from my colleagues? Not hearing any. Thank you, Katie. 4C, report from the construction manager, schedule update and progress. Do we have anyone? Kevin, did you hear anything from the good folks at Fontaine?
We see they're on the line, but if they can hit *6 on their phone, they'll unmute themselves.
You look like a DJ, Kevin.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, hello, who's there? Yes, caller, come in.
Yes, it's Frank at Fontaine Brothers. How's everybody this evening?
Great, Frank. We're ready for you. 4C, report from the construction manager. Schedule
Yes,
construction
sure.
progress.
Yes, we are. Katie just went through the presentation. You can see what's happening out there. Just if we dissect it on a day-to-day basis, we're running around 60 to 70 tradespeople. That I would imagine will increase in short order to probably close to 70 to 100 people. This week we started with the spray-on fireproofing, and now it'll allow us to get the exterior walls up and installed, which will then allow us to run more heavily with the mechanical trades on the inside, the HVAC, ductwork, plumbing, electrical. The roofs are in motion. B is just about complete. They're moving into C, and at that point they'll finish up in A, which was the front portion of the project. Concrete is ongoing. In some of those photos you saw from Katie, the concrete is being poured in section A. All other areas are poured at this point for the building. We will be in June paving what we call the loop road, which is the perimeter road that goes around the building. And this week actually, Thursday, we're going to install the well. So everything is going according to plan, and I'm excited the way things are developing out there.
Frank, any issues with critical items? We talked about that 2 or 3 meetings ago, whether it be supply chain or just availability.
No, we got past the roof issue, and the only thing on my radar is the brick. We're chasing the brick down. We understand that the manufacturing facility, we're getting the bricks in North Carolina at a firm called Taylor Brick, which was the brick that was selected, and they experience a high number of COVID-19 cases, so their production has slowed down. So we're working with the mason and the vendor and actually the sales rep to try to get the brick expedited. So it should not be an issue, but that's the only thing at the moment that's on our radar.
I recall a meeting or two ago there was concern over light fixtures and certain elements for the electrical system that were related to life safety, so there was no way to get around them.
Yeah, have not heard that from the electrician at this point. So, and we've sent notices out to advise us of any delays in purchasing, and have not heard anything from the electrical side of the project. Okay,
what I was just parroting there was an initial concern as things that might be of concern, but if you're not getting the report, apparently they are not. So that's all good news.
Yep.
Anything else to report?
No, it's job's going very good. Hopefully this weather stays with us. It seems like we'll have a summer on its way, and then it's winter. We get snow, so we just need to get to some good weather, and so we can just wrap up that site and get it more tied in.
Great. In the coming weeks, when it's hopefully safer to do so, I would like to schedule an opportunity for the committee, perhaps in an evening setting when most of the workforce is gone. Perhaps we could have an on-site meeting if Kevin can work around the open meeting law requirements, and have a walkabout for a half hour, see it prior to the 6 o'clock meeting. We'll play it by ear, but I think it would help. I know it would help me get closer to the project, review the overall schedule, and then actually take a walk. We'll see the level of interest on the committee, but perhaps we could do that in June.
Sure. Yeah. And Jim, if any point you want to, if the committee can't, we can certainly make ourselves available to meet with you, and we are on site every day. So, but be happy to meet you at your convenience.
All right. We'll poll the committee following this meeting. I'll ask Val to take that, and perhaps we can do a 5 o'clock walkabout or something there about 6 o'clock meeting, and we'll ask Kevin to figure out how we would deal with the matters of the open meeting law, et cetera, between now and then. All right. Any comments or questions from the construction manager?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I just want to say, I know I don't have to say how tough this past couple months have been, but I pretty much talk to somebody from this group almost every day. And I can confirm that Frank is probably not sleeping at night. Walter and Deb regularly probably raise their heart rate about, things that are going on. But they're getting things done, and I'm very impressed with the way they've handled some of the issues they've come across in the past couple of months. And just want to say thank you. And they're keeping us in the loop, not panicking. They're coming to us with solutions, not necessarily problems. So it's just good to have the crew that we have on board.
That's great. Thank you very much for that comment and the observation. Any other comments or questions?
Mr. Kane, if I could just ask a quick question
Yes.
related to at the project meetings, there's been discussion of so-called mock-up. And I'm wondering if either Katie or Frank could just talk a little bit more about what the so-called mock-up is and the purpose, and when we might see that.
So I can answer that to some degree. The purpose of the mock-up is so that you can see how the exterior elements come together, how the brick ties into the precast, how the precast ties into all the exterior elements, the windows, the roof, and it gives us an opportunity to fully make sure that everything on the building as it is drawn is correct, and as far as how we are going to build it. And we do that what we call a mock-up. The mock-up is being built now. The foundation is in, the steel is up, the metal studs are going up, so it is in a process of being built. And that's the purpose of it, and it is being constructed now. I don't know if I answered your question, Pat, but that's...
Yes, yeah, very good. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yep.
And when do you anticipate it being at a level of completion?
I would say probably within a month or two.
Great. Why don't we try to have it for June 9th? How's that sound?
Okay.
That would be a good target. Any comments or questions under 4C, report of the construction manager? Not hearing or seeing any, I'll move to item 5. Thank you, Frank. June 9th is the scheduled next meeting, as I have it, the second Tuesday. If members are interested, I'll ask Val to poll the members about a time. Perhaps we could have a walkabout and then a meeting at the site. I'll ask Kevin to chase down how we could go about doing that. Perhaps we need one Google Earth thing or whatever, but I'm sure he can make this all legal. And if there aren't any other comments or questions, I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to adjourn. Ms. Fritz?
Aye.
Ms. Boucher? Mr. Baldinger?
Aye.
Mr. Cox?
Aye.
Mr. Collins?
Aye.
Mr. Girardi?
Aye.
Mr. Mizikar?
Aye.
Mr. Sawyer?
Aye.
Thank you all very much. Val, if you could hold the membership for a meeting on June 9th at the site, the weather dependent, et cetera, I'd greatly appreciate that.
Will do.
Thank you all for your participation. Have a great month. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.